classes of companies as per the Companies Act. Companies may be broadly categorized into two, that is, incorporated companies, unincorporated companies. Mostly all the companies are incorporated. Next, out of incorporated companies, companies are classified based on the incorporation. We can categorize into three. One is registered companies, second one is statutory companies, third one is chartered companies. Coming to the registered companies, there are number of bases of classification. Now let us check out. One of the classification is based on the liability. There are three categories. One is companies limited by shares, companies limited by guarantee, third one is unlimited companies. Coming to the companies limited by shares, again was based on the share capital, with share capital and without share capital. In the same way, companies limited by guarantee is also based on share capital and without share capital. Coming to the unlimited companies, also having share capital and without share capital. All the three companies may be public company or a private company. Let us check up one by one. That is, companies classification on the basis of liability. One of the bases is company limited by shares. As the name itself indicates, the liability of the members of a company is limited by its memorandum of association, that is, to the amount, if any, unpaid on the shares held by them is known as companies limited by shares. Therefore, the liability of any member of such companies is only limited to the amount of unpaid on the shares subscribed by a subscriber. Second one, companies limited by guarantee. The company having the liability of its members limited by the memorandum to such amount as the member may respectively undertake by the memorandum to contribute to the assets of the company, and that's too in the event of its being wound up. Therefore, the liability of the members of a guarantee company is limited up to a stipulated amount specified in the memorandum, and the members cannot be called upon to contribute beyond the stipulated amount. Such type of companies are called companies limited by guarantee. Very rare companies are there. They are called as unlimited companies. Unlimited company is a company not having any limit on the liability of its members. In such a company, the liability of members ceases when he ceases to be a member. Therefore, the unlimited company has the following features. No limit on the liability of members. The liability ceases on when he ceases to be a member. The liability is not unlimited till the time the company is not wound up, but member can be called to contribute only in the event of winding up of the company. The liability of each member extends to the amount of company's debts and liabilities. However, he can claim contribution from other members just like in case of joint promises. Now, coming to the second category, that is based on the basis of members. One of the special type of company is one person company. The Companies Act 2013 introduced a new class of companies which can be incorporated by a single person. The procedural requirements of one person company are simplified through exemptions provided under the Act. But one person company is a private limited company with the minimum paid up capital as may be prescribed and has at least one member. Therefore, the OPC has the following features. It is one member company. It is registered as that of a private company in nature. It encourages entrepreneurship and corporatization of business. Procedural requirements are simplified through exemptions. OPC also have separate legal entity and limited liability. Now, second category under based on the members is private company. Let us check up what is a private company. A company deemed to be a private company having a minimum paid up share capital as may be prescribed by its articles and restricts the right to transfer shares, and except in case of one person company limits the number of its members to 200 and where the minimum should be 2, provided further that the persons who are in employment of the company are to be excluded. Therefore, private company, there is a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh, minimum number of persons is 2 except in case of one person company where it will be 1. Maximum number will be 200 excluding the present employees. Next one, right to transfer of shares is restricted and prohibition on invitation to subscribe to securities of the company. Generally, small company is a private company and one person company can be formed only as a private company. Let us consider what are the features of a small company. A company which does not exceed its paid up capital of 50 lakhs or such higher amount as may be prescribed. Second one, turnover, which as per its last profit and loss does not exceed 2 crore rupees or such higher amount. Here, these are the exceptions. These cannot be called as small companies. That is, a holding company or a subsidiary company, a company registered under section 8 or a company or body corporate governed by any special act. Coming to the public company. Public company means a company which is not a private company and has a minimum paid up capital of rupees 5 lakhs or as may be prescribed. Therefore, public company features are, it is not a private company, but the shares are freely transferable, minimum capital is 5 lakhs, minimum number of members is 7, there is no limit for the maximum number of members. Subsidiary of a public company is deemed to be public company. Now, on the basis of control, holding company and a subsidiary company. Let us check up one by one. A company is a holding company in relation to one or more other companies means a company of which such companies are subsidiary companies. Therefore, subsidiary company in relation to other companies means a company in which the holding company controls the composition of board of directors or exercises or controls more than one half of the total share capital either in its own or together with one or more of its subsidiary companies. Therefore, holding company alone need not hold the shares. It can hold the shares in subsidiary company through some other subsidiary company also. Next one, associate company means a company in which that other company has a significant influence but which is not a subsidiary company. Here the term significant influence means control of at least 20% of total voting power or control or participation in business decisions under an agreement. Now, let us move on to the other basis, that is based on the capital. One is listed company, other one is unlisted company. First, let us check up what is a listed company. It is a company which has any of its securities listed on any recognized stock exchanges. Now, unlisted company means companies other than the listed companies. Coming to the other companies. Out of what? First one may be government company. A company in which not less than 51% of paid up share capital is held by central government or by any state government or governments or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state governments. Second, foreign company. It means any company or body corporate incorporated outside India and which has a place of business in India, whether by itself or through an agent, physically or through electronic mode, and conducts any business activity in India in any other manner. Next one is Section 8 company, that is formation of companies with a charitable objects. These companies are formed to promote the charitable objects of commerce, art, science, sports, education, research, social welfare, religion, charity, protection of environment, etc. Such companies intend to apply its profits mainly for the promotion of its objects and prohibiting the payment of any dividend to its members. Next one, dormant company, where a company would have been formed and registered for a future project or to hold an asset or intellectual property and has no significant accounting transactions. Such a company, or it is called as inactive company, may make an application to the registrar for obtaining the status of dormant company. Next one, Nidhi companies. Companies which have been incorporated as Nidhi with the object of cultivating the habit of thrift, that is, savings and cost cutting among its members, who are receiving the deposits from and lending to its members only for their mutual benefit, and which complies with such rules are called as Nidhi companies. The main object is cultivating the habit of cost cutting and savings among its members and receiving deposits from and lending to its members for their mutual benefit. Next, finally, public financial institutions. The following institutions are regarded as public financial institutions. For example, Life Insurance Corporation of India, the Infrastructure Development Finance Company Limited, or Unit Trust of India, are the institutions notified by the central government, or any other institution as may be notified by the central government in consultation with the Reserve Bank of India.